And relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
I love my Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota for one simple reason. I can depend on them. You know they keep you safe, and they're incredibly reliable, fuel-efficient, comfortable, and stylish. The Consumer Reports Best of 2025 edition has 10 Toyotas as best buys in affordability. Toyotas are some of Consumer Reports' highest-rated certified pre-owned vehicles, and Rudy Luther Toyota's service department is the one place I take my Sienna for all of its maintenance needs. Toyotas are fantastic vehicles because they're fantastic vehicles. See for yourself at Rudy Luther Toyota off of 394 in Golden Valley.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 52, Tuesday sunny with a high near 80, and Wednesday sunny with a high near 73. Natural Lawn has been delivering beautiful weed-free lawns for over 30 years with environmentally friendly organic-based treatments. Their proprietary fertilizer blends and expert soil testing mean healthier grass with fewer chemicals, safer for your family and the planet, with no contracts and guaranteed results. Let your lawn thrive at naturallawn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dick. This portion of the show is supported by Native-owned JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
Oh, I'm awake too. And I don't know, Wendy's going to be on today, and also Dr. Stately. And Wendy, I know your camera's not on and you're in the studio right now. I'm really sorry about that decaf coffee this morning.
Robert tried to trick me with some decaf coffee. I knew it though, because after the first cup, I feel like this little zing and I'm up.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that today, so I knew that he tricked me with decaf.
Yeah.
Wow, it feels like a Monday for me as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, welcome back, Haley. I'm glad you're back here safe because we wouldn't know what to do here on Native Roots Radio without you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I just got back from Washington State this afternoon. Visited some friends out there. We went to Olympic National Park, did some hiking, encountered a cougar, which was pretty wild. Recovering still from that. Yeah.
And Wendy's been called a cougar before, right?
I've called Wendy a cougar, I think.
Okay.
Just kidding.
My beautiful wife. Wow. Hey, so we got Cinco de Mayo today, May 5th, and then also all month we are, I don't know if it's celebrating, but we're definitely recognizing MMIWR. And I know there was a big gathering in La Crosse today. A lot of my relatives were down there, and so missing and murdered Indigenous relatives, Haley and Wendy, Indigenous women are more than twice as likely to experience violence than non-Indigenous women, and
Yeah.
that's a fact. And I remember we had a guest a long time ago who was a lawyer that worked for Obama, and he said that he was at a powwow one time, and somebody told him, "Look at the dancers that are coming in, and 1 out of 3 of these people will be abused in one way or another here." And
Mhm.
he was just kind of blown away by that. Do you remember that, Wendy? That was years ago.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. Well,
He was blown
homicide
away.
is the third leading cause of death in Indigenous relatives.
Some of the things that we're really ahead of the ball game here in Minnesota with our own MMI, our office. We have our license plate to support what's going on, and it was the third most popular license plate that was bought. And I just want to say a big peeny gigi to everyone that bought them. We had 2 of them, Wendy, and one of them was on your car, and that's we no longer have. Somebody tried to kill me in on I-94.
Yeah, we see them all the time, those plates. And
Yeah.
we always say, oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, mine says land back. So if you see somebody driving in a Camry, it'll say land back. That's us. So what else did you do in Washington? I want to hear all about this, and I know our listening audience does too.
Well, I actually went out there to visit. I have a couple good friends, good girlfriends of mine from 7th grade that I'm still friends with, and they actually live out there an hour away from each other. So we got together, and one of my friends just bought her first house. So we were doing a little renovating there as well. But
Oh,
yeah, just great to get together with my friends from my childhood that I don't get to see very often.
oh, work trip. Yeah. Wow.
I used to live out there.
Really, Wendy?
I lived in Olympia,
Yes.
Washington
Oh my gosh.
for a little over a year. I'm going to say back in 1983.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I worked for Olympia Group Health Pharmacy back then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful state. It rains a lot.
Really? Yeah, they were kind of just getting out of their rainy season.
Mhm.
They were saying I brought good luck because we had blue skies and sunshine every day.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah. Good
Yep.
for you.
It was
Wow.
great. It was like the best trip I ever went on.
Well, I remember one story, Wendy, and I don't know if you're going to talk about this in your sacred animal section, but that you had a cow that was a friend.
Oh, maybe we could talk about that later.
Okay.
Okay. Did we mention it's Cinco de Mayo?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
But we can mention it again, definitely, and maybe for people out there that don't know what that celebration's all about, maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Cinco de Mayo is today. That's Cinco de Mayo, meaning the 5th of May. It's a Mexican holiday that commemorates the Mexicans' army victory over the French Empire at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862. And I guess this is kind of like a Google overview, but while it's relatively a minor holiday in Mexico, I'm not sure about that, but it has become popular celebration in the United States and particularly among Mexican American communities here. It's often viewed as a day to celebrate Mexican culture and heritage as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's gotten bigger over the years. Big parade on the west side and of St. Paul, and we used to go there all the time. It's awesome. Hey, we want to bring up too and remind everyone that on this Friday, May 9th, there's a run, walk, family event sponsored by Ho Chunk Nation here in the Twin Cities. And please register at Eventbrite. And it's the 14th annual Ho Chunk 5K. And it was founded by Daniel DeLong. That's right. And it's 14 years now. And that's crazy. I forgot about that. And I think I've gone to at least 10 of them.
That's always one of my favorites to go to too. I've gone to the past few. And Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be Ho-Chunk to come do the 5K.
No.
There's a lot of other.
No. It's become a really, really big event in the community. I know you're going to run it this year, aren't you?
Well, it kind of came up quick on me after my trip here, so I didn't really get too prepared,
Yeah.
I haven't really been running this week.
Well,
I'll jog.
if you do it, just stretch first. It's very important, I hear.
Drink water.
Yeah.
You need some water.
Definitely.
Yeah, a few days ahead of time, drink the water.
Oh, really?
Not just that day. You have to start drinking the water like a week before and drink lots and lots of water.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, not lots and lots. You don't want to overhydrate either. But
not prepared.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a walk run. You can bring your family, bring your kids. They do ask that you register Eventbrite. It's at Lake Phelan, right? Regional Park, 1600 Phelan Drive, St. Paul, 5:00 this Friday. It's also going to be a meal. We can sit together and eat as relatives. There's going to be a DJ always, t-shirts, and usually a raffle, right?
Yeah, and I have a whole bunch of medals I think I'll bring back too. And Wendy, at the end where they take pictures.
yeah, I know you always run. Like he pretends to run like the last 10 feet.
Yeah.
So that when they take the picture, it looks like he's like, wow, he really did
He
it.
ran
Yeah,
that 5K.
exactly.
It still took him an hour, but he ran.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, when they post those pictures, you really don't know.
That's right. They don't have a
It is
timestamp
a
or
video,
anything.
right? Hey, so we have Dr. Stately on, and then Wendy is going to be talking her sacred animal portion. And there he is. Why don't we just say a big who, Dr. Stately? We're going to have you on in a few minutes. Good to see you.
Bonjour, good to see you.
So you've been a very busy person. I notice. We'll have to talk about that on the next segment here.
Yeah. It's been a week or two.
Dr. Stately's tired too. I think we all are. We're all tie.
Yeah, Monday.
I drink a bubbler. That'll wake me up a little bit.
Right on. Cool. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back with Dr. Stately and Wendy and Haley. This is Robert Pilot, and this is Native Roots Radio.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
The Council on LGBTQIA2S+ Minnesotans is conducting a community needs survey. Two-Spirit and Native queer voices are sacred and must be heard. Your experiences will guide programs and policies that support our relatives across Minnesota. The survey is confidential and available at mnqt.info/survey. The deadline is May 31st. Honor your story, help build the future we deserve. Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we're here with our friend Dr. Stately, President and Executive Officer of Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, and it's great to have you on. We've had a lot of sorrow in our with our people here in the Twin Cities, but it's good to see you. And I saw a few people from Native American Community Clinic during the ceremony the day of the parade, but instead of the parade, we had a ceremony at the park.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a rough week, for sure. You know, it's a sad beginning to the American Indian Month, right? So, not something normally we would be celebrating. We'd be, enjoying time with each other in the community and those things. And that's kind of a little bit of a dicey situation right now. I think there's a funeral tonight for one of the people who was killed. And yeah, so I have a couple colleagues that will be going to that funeral tonight.
Yeah, it's sad, and it's I'm glad that they caught the person, and people can feel safer now too. So, but it's just we went through a week of radio shows and talking about this, and it's hard. And then you and the Native American Community Clinic is so involved with the community. It's I don't know. It's beyond words. What is your take, and how are your people at Native American Community Clinic and your family and you getting through this?
Well, I mean, it was shocking to me. I was in New Mexico at the International Network for Indigenous Health Knowledge and Development Conference. Real Ecologies are Reclaiming Indigenous Ecologies of Love was the name of the conference. It was pretty cool. And the first 3 days I was there, I think the first 2 days I was there, actually, I was Sunday, Monday, too. So the first notification I got about the event was like in the wee hours of Wednesday morning that night or early Wednesday morning when I saw the post on Facebook about the first shootings. And then Wednesday afternoon there was somebody that was shot in front of Minnow Biswin apartment building, which is where we operate our IOP clinic. And just and then all of the stuff that happened as a result of all those things were just challenging. There was also some other things that happened, I think, in the community. My family knows some of those people. My extended family does. Some of the people in my clinic knew those people are their patients, or they knew family members of them. So it's just it's like our community is so interconnected and woven together. There's those relationships that we have with one another are it's like a spider web, and it's kind of like if there's something experienced somewhere on that, and there's a piece of that spider web that's broken at any point in time, like the entire network feels it, right? And is impacted in it. And I think that's like what we're seeing in some of our community orgs, some of our of course, some of the people that live in the community, and many of the people that can't, those people were connected to so many different people. And like within Native communities, that we are like, we use the phrase, we're all related, right? It's like, we're all related. Like we're all related in some way, shape, or form that's meaningful. And so when we have an event of this nature that's so incredibly tragic and senseless and overwhelming. It's just it's hard. It's hard to make sense of it. It's hard to put those things into words. It's hard to. Um, everybody feels it. Everybody feels the the weight of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And
My kids this morning when I got up and I went to work, I was coming to work, and my children. I wasn't prepared for this because I just didn't have eyes on it, right? And I was like, my head is in someplace else. My head is in like trying to take care of my staff, and so many of them are challenged by this as well. We work right here on the corridor. We work in, we have a clinical footprint in that building where the shooting was taking place outside the building. There's so many things so many plates in the air, and all these things are happening all at once. I wasn't paying attention to, my own sons when I came to work today were like, "Dad, please don't go to work." And I was like, "I have to go to work." And they're like, can't you work from home? And like, don't go to work. We're scared for you. We don't want you to get hurt, and we don't want you to get shot. And I hadn't really thought about like the idea of like my sons having that heaviness in their hearts, and it stopped me. It took my breath away for a second, and I was like, not prepared for that. And I had to like say, well, I'm going to be okay. I have a lot of ancestors looking out for me. I said, and I smudged and I put out tobacco today for the people we lost and for the community. But I also prayed for protection, and I think I'll be okay. But I promise you, I'll be really careful. I'll be really thoughtful. I'll pay attention to my surroundings. And that's really all I can do. But I said, I can't really expect my staff to go to work and not go to work. That's not how a leader shows up. Like, I have to be there as well. So, but I think I have trust and faith that Creator will take care of me and protect me and bring me home to you. So don't be scared. And I just gave him hugs and told him I love him. And my one son asked me to give him a kiss on the side of his cheek, which is like, he's 18. He's not asked for a kiss in a really long time.
Wow.
So it was just a really emotional day. It started out as an emotional day. It's been an emotional roller coaster for me for like the week, because it was hard for me to be far away from my family, far away from my community, far away from the clinic and my staff. Hard to be far away and not be here. And even if I didn't know what I would do, I think just being present, I would have felt at least a little bit better about it. I would have felt like I was being more supportive. So.
Yeah. Well, we can do things, and I know Native American Community Clinic has like things like a full moon ceremony that I think is happening this week for our female and female identifying relatives.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is also we'll take some of it is that we would some of it would be like we're gonna pay attention to sort of like, we don't do those ceremonies at our own location, mostly primarily because of like space, but we partner with organizations like Little Earth and MIWC and Mental Visiting Clinic and those places to sort of do some of this work, and provide these services to the community and these ceremonies. But it's really going to be based on whether or not our partners feel safe doing that as well. And our teams, like, we have a conversation about it every day. But I think that's the other thing that I just want to say is like the impact of this, like it's the problem and the challenge is bigger than just the individuals that were involved in this situation, right? It's like, it's I think it's easy for a lot of us. It's easier for human beings, especially when we have like a strong emotional attachment or reaction to it. If we've had a history with violence within the community, whether it's gang violence or domestic violence or any of these things, it's really easy for us to, go back to that place when we first experienced that traumatic event and have really big feelings about it. And it's not always easy for us to step back, take a deep breath, and try to imagine, like, what's the way out of this? What's the solution? There's big challenges and big issues in our community that drive a lot of this violence. And it would be foolhardy and not really a comprehensive approach to say, like, well, this is just a group of people who are enacting violence on each other that are gang members and blame it on the individuals, when there's all these systemic issues that sort of contribute to the conditions in which our community is struggling emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, all these things. There's bigger things that are driving that mechanism than just 5 or 6 or 7 individuals that are involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to take away the responsibility of the decisions that people made, but it's important that we see the larger context and the larger issues that drive this type of behavior, these types of conditions in our community. And we as a community absolutely need to respond to it, but the structures that support the things that for it to be able to happen also have to step up and do their work.
Absolutely. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, Native American Community Clinic, President and CEO. We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio.
Stay with us.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
The Council on LGBTQIA2S+ Minnesotans is conducting a community needs survey. Two-spirit and Native queer voices are sacred and must be heard. Your experiences will guide programs and policies that support our relatives across Minnesota. The survey is confidential and available at mnqt.info/survey. The deadline is May 31st. Honor your story, help build the future we deserve.
This is Santita Jackson, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I couldn't be more excited about starting our days together, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Central, on the Progressive Voice of Minnesota.
Arterworld is celebrating its 30th year. This popular free event is the largest open studio tour in the nation, a fan favorite with art lovers, families, and fun seekers alike. With 1,400 artists and 100 locations throughout Northeast Minneapolis, you'll meet potters, painters, weavers, woodworkers, and more. And you'll find all types of art at all price levels. Then there are the terrific bars, restaurants, and breweries in Northeast, plus music, entertainment, and art demos. With Arterworld, you're set for 3 days of wonder. Start planning now. Arterworld is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 16th, 17th, and 18th. Visit NEMA.org. That's NEMAA.org for details. You'll find an artist directory, maps, dining and brew guides, event and music schedules, even info on Metro Transit passes and trolley rides. Plus, new this year, a passport app can win you prizes, a commemorative sculpture and raffle, a special beer from Prize, and 30 featured artists of Arterworld. That's May 16th through the 18th in Northeast.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care should be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners that use social media. Do you want an authentic way to connect with people in your life? Something more meaningful? Thousands of people just like you know that when it matters, count on Minuteman Uptown for custom quality digital prints. From Canva creations to self-published books, from business cards to banners and signs, we print everything. Find more information at mpuptown.com. Contact Minuteman Uptown today, and we'll help you connect to what matters.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for clear skies tonight with a low around 52. Tuesday sunny with a high near 80, and Wednesday sunny with a high near 73. Experience live music like never before at Crooner's Supper Club. Enjoy top-tier performances in the main stage showroom, Dunsmore Jazz Room, or Under the Stars at the Belvedere. Plus, Maggie's Piano Lounge is always open with no cover charge. Find more details at croonersmn.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we have our friend Dr. Stately on, and we're kind of talking about, what's happened to our community, but also what's been happening with our community. And I think it was really a good point. I know you have to get going a little early today, so I'm going to hand over the floor to you for the next, well, I guess it'd be the microphone, not the floor, but to you and for the next few minutes here before we let you go. And but we really appreciate you coming on and talking about these issues that, they've been kind of put upon us over the last 500 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that, like, I would say, I used to do a lot of training and lectures around the impact of colonization and historical trauma in our community. And of course, one of the things I think that's really important is I would always, in that context, I would always say things like, or I would always make it really clear, like, one of the first things that happened to us during the colonization process was that we were removed from our homelands. A lot of people were. Our ceremonial practices and our religious and our medicines, those are some of the first things that were taken away from us. They were outlawed as well. And then also, the whole impact of the boarding school process and, the Indian Wars and all those things that happened over the next couple hundred years had direct impacts on us. Here in South Minneapolis, I think one of the things that we still struggle with and we still deal with that's more contemporaneous in our sort of experience, and it's tied to colonization, it's tied to all the failed policies that the federal government has implemented in trying to sort of quote unquote manage the Indian problem, is things like the Relocation Act, right? And child welfare and boarding school process. These are things that impacted our families and created, the conditions for which we are struggling with a lot in our community, continuing to struggle today. We have the highest rate of homeless people in the state of Minnesota per capita. So for a community that only represents 1% to 2% of the entire state's population, we are about 33% of the homeless population. That's not a disparity. That's a downright inequity, right? And it's an inequity that is driven by sort of like structural issues related to deep poverty, lack of affordable housing, a number of other conditions, lack of ability for people to get fair wage jobs and those kinds of things. These are conditions that drive despair, deep despair in our community. And when we have the kinds of conditions that we have in our community that have been generational over multiple generations, where we don't see opportunity and we don't see the ability to pull ourselves out out of deep poverty, where we don't see a clear path out of the despair that we live in and that our relatives live in. Like, why would alcohol, substance use, or suicide, or other forms of violence, even if you're enacting violence on your relatives, why would that not seem like a solution when you are so desperate and there's nothing that's changing at the systems level to make something more improving the conditions of your lives and the lives of your children and the lives of your relatives? And those are systemic things that we really have to begin to have more honest conversation about. The problem with the general society or the larger society is sometimes in the reaction to these kinds of things is we want to blame the individual, we want to blame the person. That's right, and I'm not, blame is a useless word, quite frankly, right? I try to teach this idea to my sons. It's like, giving somebody the blame for something that you decided to do is not helpful in any meaningful way. We can't go back and change the things that have happened in the past. We can't make the conditions different in the past. Like, Creator gave us this day to make the best decisions today that we can make, so that we can do well today and survive today, and we can actually plan to do better in the future. Like, we can't spend a lot of time looking in the back, in the rearview window. But it also doesn't mean that we don't own up to our responsibility for the decisions we make, and that we also don't hold other people and other systems accountable for their contributions to the problem. And so there's a lot of work to do in a number of areas around this, and this is like, one of the things that has been sort of like the chief sort of condition that I deal with as the leader of this organization, which is like, healthcare isn't just about treating the chronic conditions that people have or the acute conditions that they have when they walk through the front door of the clinic, giving them, shots, giving them vaccines, giving them prescriptions for the condition that they have. That's not the only thing that we can do to help improve people's lives. We have a responsibility to also help lift up their hearts, help them ease the stress and the worries and the concerns of their lives and the lives of their families. Health isn't just about the absence of disease; it's the fostering of well-being and the fostering of prosperity and hope, and giving people a reason to sort of feel like they have something to live for. And that's a bigger issue than just writing prescriptions and solving, the condition that they walk through the front door with. So,
well, Dr. Stately, we've kept you too long now. You got to get going here, and we really appreciate you stopping in. And maybe we'll talk to you sometime this week too, Dr. Stately. And
sure.
Again, appreciate your insight, and always appreciate you coming on.
Sure, thank you. I want to just say that I went to ceremony last night, and I made a prayer for my family. I made a prayer for the people in the community. I made a prayer for the people whose lives were lost, and those relatives who had to bury those. They're very young. Those lives lost too soon. That's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for anybody. If you have a shred of compassion, you'd understand. Like, I can't even imagine being a parent of one of those people whose child lost. I think that if I lost my child, I would not survive it. It's my greatest fear. So said prayers for our families and our communities and people who are lost, and that they find peace, that they find comfort, they find and for those ones making their journey home, that they find their way back to their ancestors, and they're taken well care of on that journey. And it's heartbreaking that they had to leave us so soon. It's senseless, meaning there's other ways to solve those conditions and those challenges, and we need to, as a community and as a society, pull together to solve those conditions differently.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me to be here today.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk to you soon, Dr. Stately. Thank you again, Peony Gigi, for coming on, and we'll reach out this week too and see if you have some extra time because we like to use and abuse our guests.
No, we love.
Yeah, well, Take care. Be well, everyone. Bye bye.
All right, Peony Gigi. Thank you. See you. Wow, Wendy.
Yeah, it's heavy. It really is. It's a domino effect. Each person affects so many other people. One person, there's, hundreds of people who knew that person, and it affects them,
In such a small our community too. Going to that ceremony, the people, Haley and Wendy, were just heartbroken.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Heartbroken.
like Dr. Stately said, if something happened to one of his boys, that would be it. He doesn't know how he would survive it. I think he would, and he would go, forward, but he'd never, you're never ever the same when you lose somebody like that in such a violent way.
Yeah.
Such an unimaginable, violent, senseless way. It's just terrible.
And being old too, something that he said, Haley and Wendy, kind of hit me too, is that these people were so young.
They're young kids. Yeah.
They were younger than me, I think, most of them.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you're getting older now, Haley.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. It's just, it's really hard to...
it's crazy.
No, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. That's all. It's going to take time.
But as a community, I mean, we're some of the most resilient people, and even stronger when we do come together. So, we have each other as community to heal together and grieve together. So I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah. And Dr. Stately texted me too while we were on a break and said that we could get a hold of him anytime this week, and he'd love to come on again. And he felt bad that he couldn't stay on the whole show, but
no worries.
I think, definitely. I think one of the themes that I would like to talk to him about too, and that we have talked to other guests like Robert Lilligren, Haley, is that the healing part and what we can do as a community for our young ones. I tried to do a lot of that when I was teaching, but I don't have the access anymore because I'm doing something different.
Yeah. So, Dr. Stately's a leader in his community, just like, he said, and he's, at the clinic, he couldn't expect his workers to stay home when, they were there. And then they all have to show up. And it's good when they all show up, because then everybody's there for each other. They can support each other and help each other.
Yeah. Haley, it's sometimes it's really hard. I know, Wendy, you've felt this way over the years being on the show. It's sometimes hard doing the show.
It is, especially when something such so tragic happens. 5 lives were lost.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to have our sacred animal portion of the show, our sacred relatives with hooves and tails and fins and big noses. Don't look at me like that. Hey, we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio.
Stay with us.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
Hi, this is Governor Walz. Thank you for listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts. How?
No! Did you catch that? I said, no.
Good one.
Thank you. One in a row. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years and is co-founder of Native Roots Radio and been on for our 9th season here. And it's great to have you on and talk about our relatives with hooves, big noses, and big ears. Don't look at me like that. And tails.
Absolutely.
I don't have a tail and fins.
That's right. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajingo, which means walks on white clouds. I am a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals. Yeah, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level, and it's always my pleasure to do that. I have an article here from, it's called Unofficial Networks, and this is their wildlife issue. It's dated April 30th, 2025. There is a dangerous misconception believed by many of the over 4 million visitors that pass through the gates of Yellowstone National Park every year, and it has to do with bison. Bison are the largest land-dwelling mammals in North America. Males can weigh up to 2,000 pounds. And while they may appear docile due to their lumbering movements and calm demeanor while grazing and resting, this perception is misleading, and they are incredibly agile and can be extremely unpredictable and dangerous when threatened or provoked. There's a tongue-in-cheek saying among Yellowstone National Park staff about bison safety: don't pet the fluffy cows. While this mantra may seem comical, the consequences of touching Yellowstone bison are anything but humorous. Bison are responsible for more injuries to Yellowstone visitors than any other animal, so maintaining the required 25-yard distance at all times is essential for a safe visit to the park. It's crazy. Every year we hear, right? Every single year there's somebody who gets hurt.
We see videos.
Yes, we see videos all the time. And they do seem very docile, and they do seem very, sweet and nice. They're just standing there eating the grass, and you just want to go up and pet them, especially the young ones, right? I know I want. But it's crazy. Every year there are instances of tourists treating Yellowstone like an open range petting zoo. And every year these same tourists needless suffer the consequences of these animals. So
God, I've seen people whipped like 15 feet in the air, like in a matter of seconds.
And lose their pants.
Yeah.
Well, that was that big one, that one lady. That was quick too.
She had like blue jeans on, and they ended up hanging on the bison's horn for a long time.
And then I saw T-shirts.
And then there were jokes about it for months and months and months.
And no one. And then the next year, the same thing.
It's just
Mhm.
unbelievable. Yeah. As
You
a
should.
reminder, yes, are far more athletic than you think, as they are capable of running 35 miles an hour and
Ooh.
jumping 6 feet vertically.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you really have to be careful. They're a lot more, they could do a lot more damage than people think. So anyway, if we ever get to Yellowstone, Robert, I'll be keeping my,
Yeah.
what is it, 25 yards?
Oh.
You should
can't-
keep
yeah,
as
20
much distance between a buffalo as you would a bear.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Oh, well, that's a really good analogy because I'd be like,
I wouldn't
definitely
even go
not
near a
right.
bear. I
Mhm.
can't. I'm
You're
afraid.
not gonna go pet a bear, would you?
No, not
No.
gonna pet a bear. Absolutely not.
No, that's a good analogy.
Thanks.
So there was somebody on Facebook who posted a meme. Like, it was a meme. It wasn't a meme. It was like some Fox 9 News or some Fox channel that Trump is stopping all animal testing in
Yeah.
the facilities in the United States. And I just want to put it out there. That is simply not true. So, it's kind of like him wearing the Pope's, vi- regalia and sitting in there. I mean, that's
The Pope
basically
wears
what.
Bow Wow regalia. Oh,
But
Imagine.
here is, this is the fact of the matter is that the Trump administration. This is from the Independent. And it's from Julia Musto in New York, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. So what happens here? Oh, I can't even bring up this article anymore. What's going on? Oh no, it has like one of those
oh,
things,
blocking you. They
blocking
want you to
me.
pay for it.
Oh, let me see if I can
Subscribe.
find it. But actually, what it actually says is that the NIH, the National Institute for Health, what happened is Trump stopped so many federal funds to these laboratories that have these dogs in them that are being experimented on. So since all the federal funds were cut, there were and people lost their jobs, right? So people lost their jobs. The dogs are in there. Nobody's feeding them. Nobody's taking care of them. So over 900 dogs had to be euthanized in one of these facilities. So if you think that he's stopping lab testing on these animals, that's totally wrong. The INH is going to phase out some dog testing on certain drugs. So it's only going to be a very small amount that this is going to happen. So I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but it's just, there's just so much fake news out there. And this person who I know is a big Trump supporter. So whatever little piece of anything that they see that might even be a quarter true, they want to blast it on social media because they want,
Yeah, they want
all this other bad stuff to go away. So, but for every one, even if it was true, so that would be great. And I would say thank you, Trump, for stopping this testing. But there's 100 other things under his belt that he did that's horrific.
Yeah.
So, where does that end up?
Yeah, it doesn't really make it even.
It doesn't make it even, not at all. It doesn't
No.
make it even at all. So
well,
it's
your
just,
friends too, if they run out of stuff, they start talking about Hillary's emails and how bad a President Biden was.
Oh yeah, here it is. I was
here we
able
go.
to open it
Woof.
up. All right, so it was from the Independent. Hundreds of lab animals left behind following the Trump administration's Health and Human Services cuts have reportedly been euthanized. Of the more than 900 animals located at the West Virginia-based National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health facility, a third were killed last week following layoffs there, according to a report from the New York Times. Now, scientists caution that this concerning outcome could happen again as the National Institutes of Health caps indirect cost, including facilities and administration costs. Quote, if the animals can't be fed or cared for properly, then they're going to have to be sacrificed. This is from a Dr. Paul Loki, an environmental health scientist, attorney, and professor at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health told The Independent. And that, to me, is just a parade of horribles.
Sacrificed, they used that word.
Yeah. They use the word cold, too. Cold, that they do with the animals. They cull them.
Oh.
Yeah. They never want to say, they say euthanized. You know, they have all these words that are nice, you know. But yeah, so that's the truth of the matter. That's all I want to say about that.
Well, Wendy, yeah, really, it's good to hear from you.
So I did, post this article on the person's post that said that he's stopping all animal testing. And I was like, unfortunately, this is the truth of the matter.
Right. I like to do that and just say fake news and then put some information up there. Hey, we need to fight. We need to resist. And we need to take back our power. This has been Native Roots Radio. I want to say a big peeny-gigi to Haley, Wendy, and of course, Dr. Stately. This has been Native Roots Radio. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high